Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Mike and magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. It's another Friday evening sa inyong lahat, sa ating pong lahat ng mga subscribers natin na nanonood ngayong gabi from different countries, from saan ba? Saan ba yung mga countries na ating mga kababayan? From Taiwan to Hong Kong to Philippines, some guests na nasa Canada, UK. Maraming salamat po. Singapore and Saudi Arabia. Maraming salamat po sa panonood nyo sa ating live stream on call, Health Talk. But hindi po Health Talk ang pag-uusapan natin. But anyway, if you have some questions, feel free po. Just send me your questions or questions sa ating mga guests. And then we will try to answer yung mga questions ninyo. And ayan, may mga nanonood po sa atin. Please let me know kung sino po kayo at kung saang country kayo nanonood or saang lugar kayo nanonood ngayong gabi. And happy Friday po sa inyong lahat. And let me give you a brief introduction about bakit ito po yung topic natin ngayon. In a couple of months, I remember last year, I was asked by some friends here in Hong Kong kung pwede daw po akong interviewin at para ma-represent ang country natin, Philippines, sa isang book. So sabi ko, ha? So ano to? Hindi ko maintindihan. Kumbaga, naghanap po sila dito sa Hong Kong ng isang individual na would best represent from the Philippines na doing something, contributing something dito sa Hong Kong. And then ang question ko lagi, why me? Because there are other Filipinos out there probably doing more than what I do for the community. Until po they asked me, and then okay, so sabi ko pumayag ako after asking permission. And so ito po yung ginawa nila, and I am honored dahil po isa po ako dun sa mga napili at ang aming mga estudyante napili po kami dito sa book na ito. So let me introduce them, ang ating mga guests tonight. And if you have questions po, marami pong salamat yan sa mga nanonood po sa atin. Ang ating pong guests ay ang mga taga Dear Hong Kong. Let's get to know more of them. Sino ba ang mga tao sa likod ng Dear Hong Kong na ito? Ito yung book na sinasabi ko sa inyong lahat. And congratulations, by the way, in advance sa ating mga estudyante because nasama po kayo dito sa book na ito. So please welcome our guests. We have Oskar, we have Bradley, and we have Aggie. Tingnan natin. Hello, guys. Yes, perfect.
Hello.
Perfect. That's nice. That's
Hello.
wonderful. So we could see itong screen. The first time that I would see the screen, the four of us, even if we are remotely or medyo malayo sa isa't isa, I could talk to all of these people. By the way, thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking me before and putting me in the book for Dear Hong Kong. But before anything else, can you introduce first yourself? Because for the benefit of all the viewers tonight, they've been saying good evening to all the guests, good evening to all of you. Some of them they are familiar with you guys. But anyway, let's introduce first ourselves. Let's have Oskar first.
Okay, my name is Oskar Valles. I come from Spain. I've been in Hong Kong for 9 years already, and so delighted to be here with you. It's a pleasure. Yeah, so happy.
Oh, thank you. And how many years you've been here in Hong Kong, Oskar?
9 years.
9
years.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a Hong Konger.
Okay.
I like to say that, yeah.
And then our next, Aggie first.
Okay. Hello, I'm Aggie. I'm a local, born and raised in Hong Kong. Right now, actually, I'm working full-time in cultural education. But then Dear Hong Kong is my passion project, working with Oskar and Bradley. So I'm really enjoying what I'm doing right now. And I'm really happy to share what we are doing and what we did in the project to you all.
Oh, and the last one, Brad.
Hi, I'm Brad, and if you're in that picture behind Dr. Mike there, maybe we've met briefly. I'm one of the photographers for Dear Hong Kong, and I've lived in Hong Kong for a little more than 7 years, and I'm originally from the US.
Oh, you nice because oh no, this Sunday or this week we can apply for the what you call that one the money the
Oh, right, yeah.
I think the four of us, right?
Get your 1,200 from Trump, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. At least we have 10,000, right? 10,000.
Yeah, right, oh yeah, the Hong Kong one for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, what made you decide to have this idea, putting all together different nationalities and putting it in a book? Where this idea originated from?
I think it was more at the beginning. It was like curiosity for how many people, how diverse Hong Kong is. Like for me, I've always been attracted by people different than me. Like when I see somebody that is from a country I don't know, I want to know more. I want to know more about what they do in their countries and how they live and everything. So for me, it's a learning. So I guess that was the very beginning, no? This curiosity and also this intention to connect people. So if there was a perception of disconnection when we arrive here to Hong Kong, that we feel different, we come from other places, even though we feel the warmth of the people, there's a kind of disconnection there. So by sharing stories about this diversity, we want to bring people together, so to promote understanding and unity.
And before doing this, have you done similar project before, or is this the first time that the three of you have grouped together and have the same ideas, or how is it?
I think Brad and Aggie can also share, but I think we have been working in things related. I think we're very much driven by like social issues and multiculturalism. So we have been doing things like working with ethnic minorities or some NGOs before, but we have this passion, no, for having a better society. I guess it's the first time that we do something. Okay. At least myself, something related to publishing or storytelling.
And
but,
then, yeah. And then Brad and Aggie, all of you, is this your full-time job, or are you doing other stuff beside this, or this is just an advocacy, or is it just a passion?
This is a passion job. I'm doing a full-time job in a social enterprise, and that is the reason I met Oskar as well, because Oskar actually volunteered in my company to share about Spain to local students. So he was telling me about this idea, and I was telling him I actually have a very similar idea that I want to do, but I never started. And I've met so many people in my work, and I realized how big the world is, and there are so many stories that we should tell our friends and the people around us. So I was like, okay, maybe I can help, and then now become like a passion full-time thing, another full-time job.
And Brad?
For me, working with Dear Hong Kong is 100% volunteer. Occasionally, they'll pay for my cabs. But yeah, for me, it's really to contribute and give back to what I see as kind of like giving back to Hong Kong after being here for 7 years. Although a lot of my work professionally is either doing professional photography or working on community projects within Tibetan communities inside China and also in Bhutan. And so a lot of that was about cultural documentation. So it also involves photography, videography, those sorts of things.
And then regarding this book, what is your specific contribution? Is there anyone who is in charge for the layout, the photos, or the stories? What is your specific involvement for this book?
Well, initially it was a little bit disorganized because it was just Aggie and myself trying to convince people around to join the project. Now we are almost 50 people, but everyone has their own role, all volunteers. I'm dedicating 100% of my time. And there is a guy, Olivier, that is doing the design, and we will show you a little bit of a sample of the book with this beautiful design. Then Bradley is the head photographer. We have other photographers as well. But Aggie and I are doing a lot of things, like going to the interviews, doing the writing, managing the translation, because we want the book to be in English and Cantonese. But it's very exciting. It's like very rewarding.
And then, how did you find the person that you would interview? Because I believe that you would be interviewing 100 different individuals. Am I right? What's the target number? Do you have a specific target number of people that you would want to be part in the book?
Target number is 150 nationalities, and that number is a bit random because we actually don't know. I mean, there's 198 nationalities in the world around, and we think that around that figure, they may be represented in Hong Kong. We have already reached 100, so we're going to celebrate that in the coming weeks. But we're still not there. I mean, we want to get to 150 more or less. Yeah. And we ask people around us. I mean, we haven't really made a lot of effort. We just tell people like, okay, do you know anybody from this country, or what is the most inspiring person from this country you know? So yeah, people get back to us and they get engaged. And we have some people we didn't even ask to do the research for us, and they come back to us with a list of nationalities of wow, how about these people and everything. So it's really nice.
And for Brad, do you usually go, because you're the main person in charge for the photos, right? Do you usually go to the place or the workplace of that person, or you just ask them, oh, can you submit photos? Or because sometimes you want, as a photographer, right, you want to capture the action, the moment that the person is really involved in whatever he's doing.
Yeah, so yeah, like Oskar said, I'm just one of the photographers. We've now got a number of other photographers working on the project as well. And so the idea is we always go and shoot the photos, and we try and capture the real sort of work and the personality of the people that we're trying to profile. Like the picture that I took of you and the whole group from Empower You in the background.
A photo. That's why I decided, okay, let me put this photo on my back so that it would be. I think it's one of the best pictures that you gave us. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I quite enjoy taking it as well. And so yeah, the idea is we always take a new photo and go for one. We'll take multiple ones, but then there's one that will end up probably in the book.
But in terms of interviewing a specific nationality, is there such a case that 2 or 3 from a specific country, for example, that you cannot discern which one is really the good one? Because there are some that, for example, in the Philippines, I'll just use my country. It's not only me, perhaps, the best one in Hong Kong. There might be different. Or would you only want to represent only one person per country? Or is there such cases that there's 2 in specific country?
I think it depends on the population of the people in Hong Kong as well. Let's say maybe Indonesia, in India, we might have more than one, but we're still deciding. And sometimes we struggle a lot because some of them have super inspiring story and we don't know how to choose. But the interesting thing is there's always like a few people from different network will refer us to the same person. Then we are sure that, oh, we need to interview this person. So that's how we usually decide.
Okay. Is there any challenging experiences that you've had, either in taking photos or taking the story? Sometimes they are really inspiring. There are so many inspiring people around, but sometimes they don't want to share. They share a very small about what they've done, because not all people would want to be public, particularly for whatever things that they do for the community. They are very private. How do you handle such things?
I think the key is we have a quite intimate interview. I don't know if you remember when we interviewed you. I mean, for your case, we had it very clear. Like we're following you for a while, and we're very inspired by the work that you're doing. So that was very clear. And in the interviews, we at the beginning is usually like breaking the ice and everything. We don't have cameras or anything. It's just like a friend's chat. And at some point in the interview, we get to a point in which people open up, because it's like so intimate, and they start talking about their things. And and then we really like that, because that's when we get the inspiration, and then we can write a good story about that. So the big majority of people, it has happened like that, and we're very, very glad about that.
And then this book, how many percentage so far is completed? What's next? Because some of our viewers might be interested. What is this book all about? We want to read this because most people would want to be inspired of different stories, inspiring stories of different nationalities. I myself, I love reading inspiring books, and I think this one would be one of the let me project one of the best-selling book eventually. Okay, let's fingers crossed about that. Uh, when would this book, and how many percentage now work that you have done so far?
Yeah, so we're still on our way to complete the project. So actually, we need a little bit of a push, because we don't have funding so far to make it possible. We started a crowdfunding campaign, and hopefully, with the contribution of different people, it's possible to pre-order the book in advance. So that will help us to complete the project. Our initial estimation is to have it ready by November this year. Then we'll have a version with a big number of nationalities there. But yes, I mean, like maybe a rough estimation would be like we're 70% there.
70%. Wow. So
we're on track. We're on track.
Yeah.
We have done a lot of work. Like we have been working for the whole year.
Yeah. And in terms of where can they buy this book? They can pre-order the book right now. And then how much, Aggie, how much is this book? Because some of our viewers might be interested. I received some questions. When it will be released, the book? That's the question that I received now. And yeah, they're very excited about the book. You mentioned, Oskar mentioned it would be released in sometime in November, hopefully. And how much is the price? If you are allowed to say the price for now, if it's anyone can answer that one. And would it be available in the bookstore or what?
Actually, it's not very confirmed on like what kind of bookstore it will be in, because we are still communicating and see how we can sell it. But right now on crowdfunding, the book is $360, and it's like kind of might not be like a confirmed price, right?
So roughly around that price.
Yeah, roughly around that price. And then we have the link. I can send you the crowdfunding link later, so they can also have a look of some of our videos and our stories as well. But if you don't, or you can't buy the book, or you are in the Philippines, maybe we are trying to do exhibitions as well. But that's one of the aim that we are trying to do, to have the impact to the public. So we're aiming to do exhibition in public libraries and public space. So people who won't have a chance to buy the book or want to just look at the stories, they can also see the stories. But we are still confirming things, and we will keep you updated.
Yeah, please, because I received so many text messages now on the chat box that they want to read the books. They want to read the book. They want to pre-order the book. I think Oskar can send us the link if they want to pre-order, where they can send an email or whatsoever about the book. And yeah, any other things that you would want to say regarding the book? Or
well, I mean, for this crowdfunding, if they go to help.dearhongkong.org, or they Dear Hong Kong, they will find the link. They can have a look at some more details about the things that we're doing. Yeah, so they can get engaged. There's also a possibility of buying one book and then helping with another copy to get to a school in Hong Kong. So we measure our success in terms of the outreach that we get. So the number of people that have a look at the book here. So we want to really impact the Hong Kong society, so people can have a look at it and feel happy about this diversity of the city that they don't know. So, oh yeah, that's the Bradley sharing.
Bradley's sharing. That's
very good. Yes.
Yeah, because I received some messages again from the some of our viewers. They've been telling a hope that you can mentor OFWs. These are overseas Filipino workers, about writing a book and about photography. So I think this project that you've been doing, guys, it gives a lot of impact to the community, particularly those people who would be inspired on what you do, either in writing, either in taking photos. It's really amazing. But before anything else, since you've mentioned a while ago that you've interviewed different people from different backgrounds, okay, I prepared some. Let's play some games. Okay,
Okay.
I prepared some. What do you call this one? These are places or countries that I prepared. Uh, you can answer any one of you. You want to share your views. If I pick one, I'll read the country or the place. Tell something about the country or tell something about the person that you interviewed from that place. Okay? Either Brad, Oscar, or Aggie can uh, share. Okay? Let's have the first one. Okay, let's have the first one. This one. First one, the person you interviewed from UK. So what can you say about either the person or is it allowed to you can say the name? Is it possible to say the name of that person? It's
We can say the name, but actually for UK, because it's like a very much represented nationality,
uh-uh.
we haven't actually picked the representative yet. We have a number of names, but we haven't actually interviewed and decided the final person. So we will need to pick another one.
Okay, but what can you say? Anyone can say about something about UK?
Well, I mean, we're going to have an introduction to the book that will actually outline what is the history of Hong Kong regarding diversity and, you know, like having been a British colony for so long and, you know, the influence of the British in Hong Kong that will be highlighted at the beginning and how, you know, like shaped what Hong Kong is. Now the Hong Kong identity is a little bit revisited, and that is a huge part, no, the colonial history of the city. So yeah, we need to be very careful on who will be the representative of this.
I forgot to ask this one. Is there any age range or age group that you specifically choose? If can I represent my country if I'm 10 years old or 18 years old? If I'm doing so many things in Hong Kong, regardless of age or regardless of religion or regardless of gender, are you very specific for that one as well?
Actually, no. That's the one of the beauty of the book is that diversity of age, gender, occupation, and their background. So we actually have a 11-year-old boy in the book who is a Hong Konger. He is doing climate change strike outside school. So he regularly kind of tell or educate like his peers and do some like talks about environmental stuff to share. So this is one of the very inspiring interviewee that we have. Actually, one of the highlight that we have in his interview is where we were asking him, "Do you want to be famous?" And he was saying that it's not about me; it's about the environment. So we're so touched by what he's saying with like his maturity and what he is fighting for.
Wow, wow. Okay. Next one. Let's see. Next one. Next place. Oh, this one. I haven't been here. Ukraine. From Ukraine. Who interviewed? Is he a guy or a girl from Ukraine?
It's a lady. It's a lady from Ukraine, and we call her the mother because it's like has this mother touch on everything. Like she's the owner of a restaurant, Ukrainian restaurant in Hong Kong, and she's been here for such a long time. And then she was telling us stories about Ukraine and the history of Ukraine related to the Soviet Union and everything. And we could actually see some similarities on, you know, China, Hong Kong, Soviet Union, Ukraine, or something like that. And a lovely, lovely lady. And we felt so touched on how close she was to everybody. It was like dining at home almost.
So probably when we go next time in our Ukrainian, are there plenty Ukrainian restaurant here in Hong Kong? Let's
I
see.
believe it's the only one. I don't know if there are more, but it's really popular.
Oh,
It's really
wow.
popular. They booked for the next couple of months, I think.
Yeah, I could ask you next time so that I could visit that restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh, next one. I think Brad can answer this one. USA. The guy from the US. Anyone can answer? Or Brad?
Oh, well, I'm happy to do it. But yeah, I think that any one of us could talk about it. It's
Go,
actually
go
a
ahead, go ahead.
woman,
Yeah.
a woman from the U.S. who's been in Hong Kong for many, many years and established a charity here to help out with women who want to have children either out of wedlock or because they're in bad relationships. And it's called Mother's Choice. And the idea being that they can choose like whatever the sort of reproductive choice that they want, but they'll provide services to help those mothers to make that choice. But a big part of it is dealing with infants who then need to be adopted, either special needs infants or kids who the mother wants to put them up for adoption because they don't have the resources to take care of them. And so they do a lot for the community in Hong Kong around like neonatal issues.
Wow, that's really inspiring, huh? By just listening to the stories. What more if you read their stories, complete story, or looking their pictures?
For us, it's like a puzzle. So every piece of the puzzle is like a little contribution or huge contribution from everyone. And then we put them together. It's like a massive contribution from the international community to Hong Kong.
Wonderful. How about the person you interviewed from Honduras? Is there anyone from Honduras you interview? Anyone?
Oscar, you can go ahead.
Oscar.
Well, it's a teacher from
Uh,
Hong Kong U.
Hong Kong.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes, we actually have a lot of people from Hong Kong U. Seems like it's a very international place, and the story is like it's teaching us like how we feel migrants in a place, and he moved from different from place to place, and then it's this feeling of feeling migrant in a place and getting used to that feeling. We believe that we are all migrants in a way wherever we go, and it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see three more. Let's have this one from Korea. From Korea. Anyone from?
Okay. Yes, we do have a girl from Korea, but she is actually like a Korean Hong Kong girl. It's like a third culture kid. So she's sharing of how she struggled as a third culture kid in Hong Kong because she at some culture she can't fit into international school kids and she can't fit into the local school students. So she has this identity crisis, and now she's figuring out, and she did a film I think a year ago on identity. So yeah.
Oh wow, it's really getting exciting, huh? Next one. Oh, the person from Japan.
Okay, we have we're finding people that are actually mixed. So we have this very inspiring guy that is mixed Japan, France. So actually he's like half each, and it's super interesting to see like all these Japanese traditions and also the French style. Everything. He's an entrepreneur and a crazy guy inventing things. So it's for us, it's quite interesting to whenever we choose a nationality, it's not like a clear cut. And sometimes we let them choose which nationality they want to represent, because they may choose from so many that they can have. So yeah.
There's a question. Is there a domestic worker, domestic helper that is featured in the book? That's a question. Have you thought of including one domestic, or have you interviewed a domestic worker in the book?
So, we want to represent all of the professions in the Hong Kong society. So far, I mean, you will be the representative of the domestic helpers that we can see in the background. That said, I mean, we have, I mean, Aggie was mentioning like Indonesia or India, but Philippines as well. So we will have more than one. So watch out because we may.
Yeah. So for the viewer, to our friend na nag-question noon, oh yan, watch out daw ninyo because I saw the question. Okay, and the last one. Okay, I would not pick, okay, random pick. Random pick. Let's see. Oh, Argentina. You have a person from Argentina? Brad or Oscar? Anyone?
No, we're in the process. So we haven't interviewed her yet. We have located, is the type of person that has been recommended by two different people. So whenever we have such a recommendation, we don't want to ask for more because then there must be something there. So we're going to interview her in the coming weeks.
Okay. And with that, how about the person here, this one? To reach out. Sorry, don't. It's okay. No filter. No filter. You can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. How did you find this person behind my back? How did you why would you want to interview the person behind my back? Why? Brad or anyone can answer that. No filter. Don't worry. You can say anything you want.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Oscar first.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
I close my ears. Okay.
No, as I mentioned, I think we're very inspired by the work that you have been doing through Empower You all this time. We knew some of the students that were attending your class, and we're always very inspired and see the energy that they have when they attend the classes, and how proud they are to be learning what they're learning and to be in HongKong U. So I think it's no question. Like you were saying, why me? I think it's quite clear, right? So it's I think you're going beyond. You were sharing in your interview. You're going beyond like what you think you should be doing. You're kind of using your free time still to work for this cause, which is a really good cause. So yeah, full support.
I think for me as well, because I really appreciate how you work on this project not full time, but like for all your other free time, and you commit so much to help them and educate them. At the same time, you are kind of building a community for them as well. So all of them have like families and friends in Hong Kong and other parts of countries. They can kind of rely on each other when they need help. They also have this family that they can depend on. So, and I really like how your students are so committed and passionate in learning new things. So a lot of people are like, maybe even people in Hong Kong, they work full time and they are so tired and they don't want to do anything else. But then apart from their work, they still study and try to do something, and even maybe start their own business back in the country. So this is how I really appreciate your students and your work.
Okay.
And we really believe that education is so important to change things, and that's what you're delivering, and it's beautiful.
Okay. And I personally thank all of you for choosing me to be part of this book. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and I am so happy that I am sharing this live stream to all the friends, to all the viewers watching tonight. And I know some of them would be sharing this because it's an inspiring story, inspiring book that we could learn from. And do not stop inspiring yourself by listening, by reading the stories of people who have contributed something, whether small or whether big. It's still a contribution in the society or in the community. So with that, do you want to promote again the book?
Well, we have a little preview because
Oh, yeah.
we printed a small copy,
Uh-huh.
a small copy of the book. So we want to show a little bit the design. We have like this beautiful shapes that evoke Hong Kong. I don't know if you can see it a lot, but okay, here you got your page. So it's I don't know if I can show there. So it's like a little story in English and in Cantonese together with the profiles we have over here. So it's going to be like visually super nice, and it's going to be very human because every page you turn, you jump from another country in the world. So you're actually visiting the world while you're browsing through the book. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
wonderful. And it might be available sometime in November, but they could pre-order now. Am I right?
Yes.
They
Yes.
could order now. It's roughly around 360 60 Hong Kong dollars. Hong Kong dollars. And I guess some of our friends watching tonight, they are so interested in having this book. Is there a softbound or hardbound copy? How is it? Because that's a small version of the book. It's a big version, right? And I'm so excited for this one. Any other things, guys, that you want to say? Invite people around. Brad, anything that you want to say, or Aggie?
Yeah, I'll just reiterate, Dr. Michael, we had talked about possibly now that things are getting back to sort of normal, if anyone's interested in photography, like workshops or trainings or something like that, I'd be happy to contribute some time to doing those with Empower You. I know you have a trainer already, somebody who's doing those workshops, but if there's something that you want to add to that or make it expanded, I'm happy to talk about that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Brad, for letting us know about that one. I think some of our viewers, some of our students, they are really interested in learning, taking good photos. Yeah. Aggie, any other things that you want to say?
We don't have a lot of experience in making books and doing interviews, but then if anyone is interested in asking for advice of how we should interview, or like what's the progress of making a book, what's the thing that we should be careful of or like be aware of, they can always ask us. We don't have a lot of experience, but we are very happy to share our network and our ideas to all of you.
And Oscar, I'm so I cannot say more than that, Oscar, for me being a representative. It's not my story. It's not about my life. It's about those people that every day off showing themselves at the university, learning new things, upgrading their skills. I think that's the message of the part of my story representing my country, because I have said before during the interview that in my country, in the Philippines, we don't see women, we don't see workers sitting on the street. Why in Hong Kong suddenly, when I came here in 2010, I saw this lady? And how can I make a contribution based on my field, based on my experience to educate these women, but bring them to a place where it's safe inside the university when they can learn from the different professors. I am just one of the representative in the Philippines. There are other Filipinos who could do more or who have done more than I do. And I think I am sharing the story to all the people. And with you and with all of you guys, thank you so much and for saying yes to this live stream. I know it's Friday night. It's Friday night and it's getting late. Okay, thank you. Any other things, Oscar, that you want to say? I hope
No,
that
just a final thought, like maybe for any of your students that may be watching, listening, like again myself, we may not have experience on journalism or photography or even publishing, but I think what we found during this time is that out of curiosity and out of passion, you can do a lot of things. So sometimes you don't need this expertise or you don't need anything else rather than your passion and being committed to something. So I would extend that to your students as well, because we see with the passion they have, they can achieve anything.
Yeah. So with that, guys, thank you so much to the three of you, and I hope to see you again soon. I would talk to some of my students after this. You can turn off or you could leave this discussion so that I could go to the other discussion that we'll be having. I hope that this book would become very, very successful, a best-selling book, and I'll try to reach out to other friends as well so that they would be inspired reading different stories. What is Hong Kong all about based on the perspectives of these different peoples that you have interviewed. So again, thank you so much, and I
Thank you
hope
so much.
to
Thank you so much.
see you. Bye,
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Bye bye.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
So ayan mga kababayan, sandali. Paano ko lilipat naman ito na ako lang ang nasa screen? Ano ba 'yon? Hindi ko ata magawa. Ayan. So ako lang nasa screen. So maraming salamat po sa ating mga guest, kay Oskar, kay Aggie, and kay Brad na pumayag na mag-guest sa ating live stream tonight na kung saan they have discussed about the book Dear Hong Kong. And it's so exciting nga na napasali tayo dun sa book. And in a few months, marirelease na yung book. I want to read the stories of the different personalities na interview po nila. And it's a beautiful Friday na naman. And tomorrow, we would be meeting some of the students natin. And oo nga, 'di ba? If may question naman po kayo, lipat lang tayo, segue lang tayo ng konti. If some questions sa inyo related anything, medical man yan or something that I could share my views, please feel free. Sabihin niyo lang po, i-message niyo lang po sa ating chat box. We have some viewers right now na nagtatanong sa akin kasi na-miss daw nila yung on-call natin that I could answer some of those medical questions na na-experience nila na gusto nila mas one-on-one na nag-uusap tayo. Feel free. I would love to na makakapag-discuss po sa inyo. Ayan, marami pong sa atin ngayon. Si Miss Josie, si Yamelo, si Lori, and sino pa ba? So ang dami. Ang dami. Thank you. Miss Esther, salamat po. Si Lira, salamat. At sa ating mga kababayan ngayong Friday na nanonood sa iba't ibang lugar, si Jane, si Noemi. This Sunday, wag niyo pong kalimutan panoorin ang ating live stream na naman. Ang pag-uusapan natin is about ano ang mga untold stories sa ICU o yung tinatawag na intensive care unit. Maaring yung pong iba sa inyo, bakit ang pasyente pagkatapos ng naoperahan or merong critical na condition, bakit nilalagay siya sa ICU? Ano nga meron sa loob ng ICU? O yung tinatawag na intensive care unit. Paano po yung nangyayari sa loob ng ICU? Maaring yung iba po sa inyo na ospital na nilagay sa ICU, at ano ang nangyayari doon? Totoo po ba? Maraming nagtatanong na mga ghost stories sa ICU. Naniniwala po ba kaya ang mga doktor sa multo? Naniniwala ba ang mga doktor sa pasma? So there are so many things na maaring nahihiwagaan kayo. At marami din pong nagtatanong, gaano po ba kahirap ang mag-medicine? So siguro sa mga lifestyle segment natin, yan ang pag-uusapan natin minsan. Because some of your mga anak, may mga anak kayo na gusto mag-medicine, maari pong na yan po ang pag-uusapan natin. Magbigay ako ng mga tips po sa mga mothers or sa mga nurses or sa mga gustong mag-nursing o gustong mag-aral ng college. Ano pong course kaya ang kukunin ko? Sige, pag-usapan natin yan. Something more inviting, something more makaka-relate po yung mga mothers. Kasi usually, nung ako po'y nag-aral after high school, ano nga bang course ang kukunin ko na syempre, nung nag-graduate ko, gusto ko medicina na kaagad. So, yun na po yung thinking ko kaagad. So, yun po yung mga pag-uusapan natin. O yan, may mga tanong dito, naniniwala ba ang mga doktor sa tawas, sa nagtatawas? Yung parang may kandila na tapos may tubig, tapos may kapre, yung mga ganon. Or nakulam siya, or nabarang siya. Naniniwala ba ang mga doktor ko? Yan ang pag-uusapan natin sa mga susunod na episode natin. So, hanggang sa muli po, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Abangan niyo po yung episode natin sa Sunday. sa ating live stream all about ICU at ang mga ghost stories or untold stories sa loob ng ICU at mga medical topics natin sa susunod. So hanggang sa muli po, happy Friday po sa inyong lahat. And mag-enjoy po kayo ngayong weekend, Saturday and Sunday, pero mag-ingat din po kayo. Sa lahat po ng viewers natin sa buong mundo, maraming salamat. Don't forget po na i-like, mag-subscribe, at i-share po ang mga videos natin. Abangan nyo po sa susunod ay i-feature ko din po yung mga travel at saka mga leisure natin. If you want me to visit a place para i-feature ko po sa inyo para makita po ninyo, just asking me to visit a restaurant na ganito or going to a hotel na ganito, let me know if interesado kayo para i-feature natin sila. Kahit man hindi tayo makapunta ng physical doon sa lugar na yon, at least nakita po natin yung place kahit sa video man lang. Para sa susunod, pag pumunta kayo dito, tama yung budget natin, we could go. Or you can visit me here dito sa Hong Kong. So hanggang sa muli po, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat and see you again this Sunday. Have a great weekend. Have a great night, everyone. Hanggang sa muli, this is Dr. Mike. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat.